Everybody to what we think might be our 9th slipper concert. It's hard to believe. And to rewind back to the first one, which we did, it was dark, it was cold, it was in March, and here we are. We've been on quite a journey, and it's been so lovely to think that we've been on that journey with lots with lots of friends. Sorry, it means quite a lot. Oh, I didn't expect that to happen. Anyway,
lots of emotions.
Here we are.
Live music, you see. Anything can happen.
So welcome everybody, and we're going to get on with playing what is going to be really our main piece, our only proper piece tonight, because it's in 3 sections. It doesn't really need anything else with it because it stands alone as a masterpiece, a wonderful piece of music by our, probably my favourite composer, I don't know about yours, J.S. Bach.
And you used to play this, didn't you?
I played this from quite a young age, really, with my dear sister Sarah. Don't know if she's watching or listening, but yeah, we used to have fun. Sarah was an oboist, a very fine oboist, and as we grew up together, we used to get out this piece of music sometimes and have a good old go through it. And thanks, Sarah, it was great fun. And now I'm going to play the oboe, but I'm going to play it on the violin so that we can play it together tonight.
Yeah.
Once again, our friend Michael, Michael Taylor, who has recorded the accompaniment for this. We played a little bit last week. We're going to play it all this week. Just one snag. He didn't do a kind of click track. He didn't do a count in. So it's a guessing game as to when it's going to start. So yeah, we will do our best.
We'll merge. Here.
Yeah.
Here he comes. You ready? You ready, Jenny?
Yeah.
Okay. Starting now. Switch it off while I do this.
Okay. Sorry, I just got to switch off an alarm that's going off. See you in a minute.
To have supper in the oven.
The beauty of live concerts, eh?
So warm in here, isn't it? Can we just check the...
Okay.
Yep.
Right. So now we're going to do the slow movement, the adagio.
Ready?
can breathe when I play the violin. It must be so hard playing that on an oboe. So hard. The last movement, it's a quick movement again, and this is just such fun. This is just amazing, and I love it when the left hand of the piano part, the accompaniment, starts to play about as if it was a soloist as well, and join in the running about with the semiquavers. Somebody pointed out to us today that actually if you have the rhythm of the semiquaver, the sort of da 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 da, it's actually sanitizer, 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 which is wonderful for this time of lockdown. Thought you might enjoy that. Here we go. You could perhaps make up some words as we go along.
You can tell we've both been teaching all day, can't you?
Yeah.
Sanitizer. Coronavirus. Okay, third movement.
Yeah, here we go.
I'm pressing it now. Joining in the second phrase. Huh?
Okay.
Shall I put some applause on?
Yeah, maybe. It's manic, that first violin part, isn't it? Amazing. So.
have some questions.
Yeah, John, you got your crib sheet.
My crib sheet. It's on the back of a bank statement, scribbled. So we had a couple of questions straight away after last week, and we're going to be reading some questions off the screen in a moment. But the first question that came in was from, I think it was from my brother, but no, it was from Stuart.
Yeah, your brother-in-law.
And my brother-in-law who wanted to know what colour my pants were. And I just thought, well, I would mention it just in order to embarrass him, Stuart Marchant. Anyway, then a question from Pip Peacock from Derbyshire, and she wanted to know what is it that keeps us happy when we're surrounded by so many difficult things. Obviously it's Jane who keeps me happy, but
I don't know really. I think we find refuge in music for sure, in the garden, and you can probably see some of my little friends over there in the corner actually. So on that camera, you can, maybe if I get out of the way, I don't know. Anyway, got animal friends around the place. Little people make us happy, and I know that some little people listen to these concerts, and it's just really lovely to think of that.
It's also true to say that we feel most alive and most ourselves when we're giving our music away. Of course, we spend a lot of time teaching and practicing and rehearsing and recording things, but actually it's when we perform, even if it's to the camera, it's a sense of real giving. And also we reflected, we would say to you that actually normally it'd be very unusual for us to perform in a conservatory without a warm-up, or it's very difficult, and also without the editing. We could, of course, have made these videos and got them just right, perhaps, and then put them up, but we wanted to be honestly vulnerable and perform. So another one came from Australia.
Yes, our dear friend Esther, who watches in Australia, but sometimes she gets up really early to watch, and other times she gets up a little bit later when it's all happened and has her breakfast and watches. But she did want to know, did we have a dream venue? Remember the other camera? And did we have a dream venue that we would like to play in? Well, I think my dream venue I've already been to, and I would just want to go back again. It's in Canada. It's on Main Island, which is between Vancouver mainland and Vancouver Island. And our dear friend Chris Redsall lives there. It is the most beautiful place I've ever been, and to play music surrounded by sea, pine forests, mountains, blue skies.
Very special.
The scent, the smell, the sights is just incredible. That is my dream venue. What about you?
I would agree, and also we were playing string quartets and string quintets on these islands, and people didn't normally get live concerts, so we had fantastic audiences, and they really loved listening to it.
Dave Daly, do you ever wish you played the bass?
I do play the bass.
Oh.
Well, I did for a little while, and then
you did actually. You had some lessons.
Yes, I had some lessons, and I love the double bass. The double bass is the king of the orchestra. Just it mustn't ever be told that. Oops.
And Andy, we will one day come to Montana. I'm sure it's even more beautiful.
Richard Corsi asked, did either of us have perfect pitch? The definition of perfect pitch amongst musicians, orchestral musicians, is being able to throw a viola directly into the bin from the other side of the room. That will lead us on to further weeks when we're going to do a viola joke week. We've been inundated with requests for that. Just quickly, another question from Andrew Clark Maxwell. It's suitably intellectual and detailed question from such an eminent audience member. Andrew, you asked whether the bow hair, whether the horsehair on the bow, when it's refitted, has to be fitted in one direction. In other words, is there an up and a down on the actual hair? And the truth is that if you take the hair from a stallion or a mare, it's quite different because of the wee that goes onto the hair. So it becomes brittle if it's got urine on it. So basically, bow hair rehairers tend to mix the hair up, so you've got some at the heel and some at the point. But the actual hair itself travels the same way. The microscopic hairs on there. When you put rosin on them, it doesn't matter which way they travel. But a very technical question. I've done my
Get
best.
John started on technical issues of making bows and violins. Oops, we've lost reception. That's probably because it got too technical. But we're back again. A favourite piece to play? It's got to be something by Bach, definitely. Richard Cossey asked that. So, yeah.
Lovely. That's Simon Elliston saying he played this with his girlfriend Jane just a few weeks ago.
Should we...
Just last one. What age did we know we wanted
to play the violin?
Well, it's fair to say that I couldn't do anything else, so it wasn't an option. It wasn't like, shall I be an architect or shall I be a banker? It was like, I can only play the violin, so I did that.
I think I knew pretty young. I knew I wanted to play the violin when I was about 7, 8, and once I'd started, that was it. I caught a bug and I couldn't stop.
Who's the most famous person we played with? Well, Jane is the most famous person I've played with.
Itzhak Perlman. I was privileged enough to be in the National Youth Orchestra when Itzhak Perlman played the Berg Violin Concerto. I'll never forget it. But you've played with all sorts of conductors.
Great conductors, Abbado and Cellini and people like that. But I mean, I don't know. It's just a joy, isn't it, hanging around with musicians?
Can be.
It's better than having a job, anyway.
We convince ourselves that it is. Now, we are going to play one more piece just to sign off tonight. It's possible we'll take a break next Tuesday. Not quite sure yet, but we nearly had to take a break because if it had landed on John's violin, that would have been it. So, some hair has decided to. It's the second one. So we'll keep you posted. But in the meantime, we're going to play a farewell, beautiful tune which hardly needs any introduction, especially if you're Irish.
I could tell them a story.
It's just their joy. Oh yeah, that's a fun story. But
Okay, tell the story. Tell the story quickly.
all right, go on then.
Quick story. Okay, so my grandma, she was in a home in Middlesbrough, and when I used to go up to visit, she would always arrange for me to play to everybody in the home, and so I would play Irish tunes and hymns and all kinds of folk tunes and music, and she loved it. She absolutely loved it, and I played, of course, Danny Boy, London Derriere, which we're about to play for you now, and then of course I said, were there any requests? And somebody in the nursing home put their hand up. Yes, can you play Danny Boy? So I said, okay, I'll play Danny Boy. So I played Danny Boy, and then a little later I said, any final request? And somebody said, could you play Danny Boy? So I played it for the 3rd time, and as I left, an old lady, no, it wasn't the same lady, it was another lady. She grabbed hold of my shirt and she said, shame you didn't know Danny Boy. So we're going to play it for you.
So
It's my applause turn.
good night, everybody.
Thank you very much.
For coming.
Thank you.
If we haven't answered a question tonight, we will do our very best to answer it another week. Okay.
Oh, thank you, Michael. Thank you for your help. Sarah, nice to see you. Andy, thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye. Thank you.